what is goal setting? Like, what does that mean to you?
Gosh, I mean, it means lots of different things. And ultimately, to me, when I'm doing it from a professional perspective, it is about helping others find fulfillment in what they are doing, and however that might look. But when we talk about kind of goal setting in general, I mean, it encompasses so much, so that it can be your dreams, your hopes. It might be very specific plans. I need to do this. It could be career, it could be life. Goal setting is also often about kind of motivation. How do we do this thing that I want to do? And very often it's about kind of success. How do I do this thing that I think is going to be fantastic or useful or helpful in some way to me? Maybe make me more successful. And again, that's another conversation of like, what does success look like? And it's very different to everybody. So at the heart of it, goal setting is about helping others find that fulfillment, or finding fulfillment in what we're doing. But then it branches off into all sorts of different areas, which can get super weird.
Why is goal setting important?
It's important because it's about our well-being. I think it is a part of our well-being. We want to achieve things. I think the human brain is wired to, even especially now with, the dopamine wire of like achieving checklists or watching stuff and getting that instant gratification. So goal setting is important to us because it ultimately makes us feel good to achieve things. It makes us feel good to move forwards, to not feel stuck and blocked, to feel powerful or successful, or like we are maybe in control of something, or have an idea that we are acting out. That all feels good, and it fills that need. It fills that well-being side of the brain that is necessary. I mean, if we go back to kind of the biology of goal setting and we think about kind of, where did it come from? Humans are a collaborative species. Like we absolutely rely on others to work together, and a lot of our history is about achieving goals. It's about working together to achieve a thing, and that comes from a very basic need for survival, right? If we didn't work together collaboratively to find food and store food for winter, we would die. So that's at its very heart, it's a survival need. But that's changed, I guess, now in terms of, what do we need now? We still need that feeling, I think, of achievement. It just shows up in different ways. And I guess for a lot of Western society, a lot of those needs, those survival needs can be met. So I guess the question is like, how is goal setting evolved now? And how does it show up? We're no longer having to hunt the bear or the food.
Whatever, yeah.
We're now in a boardroom or in an office location trying to figure out, what does that goal look like? How does that feel good to achieve? And what is that? So it's evolved from that need to survive. Why is it important? Because it's important for the brain to feel like it's moving forward. I just think that's definitely for me. That makes a big difference in my life to know that I hate feeling stuck. Goal setting gives me this kind of structure, I guess, that allows me to celebrate both myself, but those around me, and get that feeling of satisfaction that life has meaning and purpose.
I hadn't thought about this before as you were describing that and thinking about that evolution of goal setting from, we all use this as a survival function collectively. Now we may be able to take certain elements of survival more for granted. We just, food for many people has been relatively available. If you're listening to this podcast, you're in the Western world, you probably have easy access to food, and you might have had that your whole life, especially when you compare it to people 6,000 years ago or something. But that idea of the evolution of goal setting, the thing that came to mind for me is we are in a society where there's a lot of people out there, and I mean, game dev can do this, although I think there's others, people can spend hours on TikTok getting little dopamine hits. And I almost was thinking about it as the evolution of goal setting is the dopamine hit is no longer a sufficient goal, because it's too easy to get so many dopamine hits by doom scrolling or, just jumping between distraction activities, like watch the show, watch the movie, play the game, listen to music. Yeah. And the evolution of goal setting is, okay, we have to actually, the goal setting gets you past that. It gets you past those short-term hits into something of like, you could do something more meaningful than this. You could do something greater. And goals are a way to try to articulate that, or to try to like get you, out of bed in the morning, let's say, like, okay, let's get up, let's get moving. I don't want to be stuck. We probably all know someone in our life who's, somewhere between the ages of 25 and 45, let's say, and it just seems like their life is just the same yesterday as it was the day before that, as it was the day before that. And there's not, and again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but for some of them, like, I think they want more, but they're in a pleasant loop of like, I'm surviving. And the goal would be a way to go like, let me get outside of this pleasant survival loop and perhaps become something more or achieve something greater. That was very long, but that was just, what came to mind.
No, I totally agree. I think what you're getting at though is you're exploring how complicated kind of the theme of goal setting is, because what used to be, I guess, something that was more collaborative for survival has definitely kind of evolved, and we now have this very kind of individualistic notion of goal setting. Again, I mentioned earlier that like this weird theme of success has now crept in, and success has evolved to mean lots of different things in today's society, and that can then, I think, interfere or be part of it. And there's nothing wrong with setting individual goals, but there's definitely there's definitely a difference, I think, in when we set, say, goals as an individual versus the goals as a team versus the goals as a company. So we're kind of starting to peel back those different layers of why, again, it's such a massive topic to speak about, and like, where do you start, and how do we set goals, and for who, and why, and where, how, all of those questions start to come in, and it becomes more layered and more nuanced. And also, I think, hints at that some goals are not equal to others, that some can have great effects, good well-being feelings, and others may not set us up for success in the same way that we're thinking of, or might lead to more unhealthy behaviors. I used the word control earlier, and that can definitely be part of this. If there's an addiction to that dopamine hit, we can often set ourselves up for failure in the goals that we set ourselves, for example.
Does this sound familiar? You're in a leadership role at a game studio. Everyone is busy working, no one has any time, but the actual game itself isn't in a good spot. Maybe it's the tech, maybe it's the lack of a validated prototype, maybe it's that every person seems to have a different idea about what we're trying to build. But you've got a job. There are reports to send, meetings to schedule and facilitate, the occasional season of performance reviews to go through. And everyone is always so busy. When you step back, it makes you wonder if everyone is just going to keep slowly walking towards the abyss until the project or game fails. Is this what it means to be a leader in games? In tech? To endlessly repeat the same sequence of meetings without really moving the needle? To spend hours trying to get Jira tickets and dashboards where they should be? To pretend that everything is fine when you know deep down it really isn't? It doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. You can help your team and game succeed, but sometimes you need a bit of help to get there. I've started a game dev leadership accelerator. It aims to level up leaders who see opportunities to make a difference but don't know how to capitalize on them. We'll walk through what it means to lead well and give you tools to understand your organization's challenges and implement changes to overcome them. Game dev is hard. Knowing how to lead will give you an edge. It will still be hard, but you'll be ready to tackle it. If you're interested, let me know below, hit the link. I hope to see you in the accelerator because I believe better leaders will help teams make better games, and I look forward to someday playing what you create.